Why did you leave when we still needed you?
Have you ever wondered what happens when an animal, a massive and powerful one, shows a human side, a side filled with sadness and regret? What happens when a story that begins with a tragedy ends with a heartbreaking farewell? This isn't a regular story about a wild animal. It's a story about a broken heart, a deep sorrow, and a final, emotional goodbye. We're going to talk about a tragedy that shook the world and the incredible, emotional journey that followed. It's the story of a trainer named Jessica Radcliffe, an orca named Tilikum, and the last goodbye they never got to say. Imagine a beautiful sunny day, the kind of day where the air is warm and filled with excitement. Hundreds of people, families and kids, are all sitting around a big pool, waiting for the show to begin. The star of the show is a magnificent creature, a killer whale, or as scientists call it, an orca. This orca is named Tilikum, and he is enormous, weighing as much as a school bus. His trainer is a woman named Jessica Radcliffe. She has spent years of her life with him, caring for him, feeding him, and training him. They had a special bond, a friendship that everyone could see. But on this one day, something went wrong. Something terribly, terribly wrong. The show began, and for a moment, everything seemed normal. The crowd cheered, the sun shined, and Jessica smiled. But then, in a flash, the mood changed. The cheering stopped, and a wave of shock rippled through the audience. Tilikum, the massive orca, who was usually gentle and playful, suddenly became something else entirely. Driven by a rage that no one understood, he surged forward with incredible force, a power so great it seemed unstoppable. The show, meant to be a moment of joy, turned into a scene of pure terror. Screams of fear rose from the crowd as they watched in horror. The raw power of this magnificent animal, a creature so intelligent and complex, was now unleashed in a way no one had ever seen. Jessica, the person who loved him and understood him the most, could not withstand the attack. In that tragic moment, in the water she loved, her life ended. A profound silence fell over the crowd, and a deep, heavy void was left behind. But this story doesn't end with the tragedy. It only begins there. Because what happened next was even more incredible. After the attack, the rage that had filled Tilikum seemed to vanish, replaced by something else entirely. The huge whale, the one who had just caused so much pain, seemed to be filled with a profound sadness. It was as if the shock of what he had done had hit him all at once. Scientists who study these amazing animals say that orcas are not just simple predators. They are incredibly smart, with feelings and emotions just like humans. They can feel love, loss, and even remorse. And that's exactly what Tilikum showed. He stopped the wild circling. He stopped the thrashing. He began to do something truly heartbreaking. He started to cry. Yes, a whale, this enormous animal, was crying. He released these low, mournful sounds that sounded like a deep, sad song. He began to circle the pool, not with rage, but with a desperate, gentle searching. It was as if he was looking for Jessica, his closest friend, the person who was always there. He didn't seem to understand that she was gone forever. It was like he was asking, "Where are you? Why did you leave?" This beautiful, sad behavior made everyone stop and think. What was really going on inside this animal's mind? Was he aware of the terrible thing that had happened? Was he grieving for the friend he had lost, the friend he had hurt? The people watching, the trainers and the authorities, realized something important. This orca, with all his complex emotions and the rage that was likely born from being kept in a small pool, was now a danger. He was too powerful and his emotions were too deep to be contained in a place that wasn't his home. The authorities had to make a difficult decision. The only option was to return Tilikum to the place where he belonged, the vast, open ocean. It was a big and risky plan, but it was the only way. To start the process, a team of experts, people who dedicated their lives to understanding marine animals, came together. They had to be extremely careful. They needed to make sure Tilikum was calm and safe for the long journey. They decided to add a precise amount of medicine to the water, a special tranquilizer that would make him sleepy and calm. It was a delicate and important step, a sign of how committed they were to doing this right. Once Tilikum was calm and peaceful, the real work began. They used special lifting equipment, huge nets and cranes, to gently and carefully lift his massive body out of the water. It had to be done perfectly to avoid hurting him. He was then placed into a huge water tank, a sort of giant swimming pool on wheels, that was designed just for him. The water in the tank was kept at just the right temperature, and everything was monitored to make sure he was comfortable and safe for the long drive to the coast. The journey was long, and every moment was important. The truck carrying the tank moved slowly and carefully, making sure that Tilikum was stable the whole way. Finally, they reached the ocean. The air smelled of salt, and the sound of waves filled the air. This was the moment of truth. A ship was waiting, and a huge crane was ready. Tilikum's tank was lifted and moved to the edge of the ship. With careful precision, they secured his body with safe ropes, making sure he was held gently and securely. Then, slowly, inch by inch, the crane lowered him down closer and closer to the water. This was the most important moment of all, the decisive moment of his release. As he touched the cold, wild water of the ocean, something amazing happened. He began to wake up. The effects of the tranquilizer wore off, and his powerful body started to move. He felt the vastness of the ocean around him, the true home he had lost for so long. He swam away, not with anger or sadness, but with a sense of freedom. He moved into the deep, endless blue, where his true nature belonged. There, in the depth of the ocean, he found what had been missing, his lost freedom. He could finally live according to his wild instincts, far from the small pool that had caused so much pain and led to such a terrible tragedy. This story of Jessica and Tilikum is more than just a sad event. It's a profound lesson for all of us. It's a lesson about respecting the wild nature of these incredible creatures. It's a call to think about how they live, and how maybe they should be allowed to live freely in their natural homes, where they can find peace with themselves and with the world around them. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest act of love is letting something go, especially when it means giving them back the freedom they were born with. And that's the story of Jessica's last goodbye in the pool. If this story touched your heart and made you think, please let us know. Give this video a thumbs up to show your support. Share it with your friends and family so they can hear this important story too. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thank you for watching.